I have once heard that the true voyage of life lies beyond the walls of your ship, and that there are myriads of tales and stories that our motherland holds in her majestic pages. I then figured that my world lied not in my worn-out cabin, but in the unfathomably vast oceans of ideas and cultures that I have always stared at through my thick windows that gave the outside world such a limited and surreal view. I wanted to touch it, taste it, experience it, feel it. That is why I have decided to embark on this uncertain journey to a destination that has yet to uncover, all to satisfy this burning rush of wanderlust and curiosity in my guts. As I strolled through a tranquil and semi-civilized town in Negros Oriental, I stumbled upon a bamboo that was different from the typical ones, for we saw it had words engraved on it. All of history and all stories eventually collide. That is how the Great Laon creates new worlds. Fascinated by its mysterious wisdom, I took it and placed it in my bag, moving on with my journey. Minutes passed and I felt like I was not getting any closer to my destination. My hopes were wearing thin, till I saw a barkada conversing in a nipahat. I approached them and asked them where the paradahan to my destination was, and they told me I was at the right place. But the last trip for my ride already left. Sensing my frustrated sigh, they offered me a seat and a cup of tuba, the latter which I refused. We had a conversation on the run-of-the-mill issues of their town till the toxin of their drink started to fill their system. In a slurred speech that I tried my best to fathom, one of them started narrating the Sugilanon of Epifania's Heartbreak.
Once upon a time, amidst the Hispanic cultural invasion, there lived a plain-looking girl named Epifania. She was a lass of bountiful romantic hopes and dreams, and an infamous nuisance in her village, as she frequently shared her endless tales of woe and heartbreak. One fateful day, however, she fell madly in love with the handsomest boy in town, and nearly destroyed the universe. In an age-old town of Tulog, in the southern end of Island Buglas, Epifania lived a fairly Spartan life at the very heart of a small town. Her house was modest, a wooden box on stilts. She was born in this house many years earlier to Bebang, who gave neither a scream nor expression as she delivered baby Epifania at the loving and caring presence of her maternal grandmother. As years passed, and as Epifania turned 10, some said that one late afternoon, Bebang was spirited away by the Encanto who lived in the big mango tree that shadowed their home as she was trying to feed their flock of chicken. This was when Epifania first felt that bitter feeling of abandonment. Some storytellers insist that was when magic first touched Epifania, and one particular version says that there was something growing at the back of her head, something perceived to be her grandmother's thoughts. The small family of the old woman and the young girl managed to survive. They kept mostly to themselves, making and selling bayi-bayi that was said to have a touch of tuba that greatly improved its taste. Epifania's daily life consisted of buying a tumbler of oil to light the lamps in their old house in the poblacion, as old woman Intan sits in her wobbly chair beside an open window, and when she felt that the afternoon sun had from the way the shadows fell on the banana leaves, she would call Epifania to her side, hand her 3 silver coins and say,
Cousin, here are 3 silver crowns. Hurry up before the eye closes, or we will not have light tonight.
Okay, Lola.
As Epifania went on her regular errand to the eye store, she was saddened to discover that the middle-aged woman was not there. In fact, the store was closed, and guarding the door to Tiai's small house was a youth of breathtaking beauty. Every bend and curve and hump of his masculinity was like a painting from heaven. There was an innocence to him that struck the young girl with a power that she could not name. She felt an overwhelming rush of hormones in her system that she could not think of what to say next.
Tiai? Tiai?
Epifania gazed mutely at the young man while he opened the door. She took in the tallness of him, the beads of sweat around his nape, the tension of the muscles in the small of his back.
I need to buy some oil from Tiai.
I'm sorry, but Nanay Tia is not here. She has gone to the next village to consult the rooster that people say can foretell the future.
But it's already nighttime, and I need my oil to light my house.
What's your name?
My name? My name is Epifania. Pardon, who are you? I haven't seen you from around here before.
I am Tia's son. I've been away for a while. I'm on a journey to the 7 kingdoms of the world. People call me Bangbangin.
That's a strange name for a man.
No stranger than Epifania.
I still need my oil, Bangbangin. My grandmother has given me 3 silver coins to fill up the small flask.
I can't open the store because Nanay Tia might scold me. But, okay, just once, since I don't want you and your grandmother to spend the night in darkness.
When Bangbangin took the flask from her hands, he could not tell that they were trembling, but when his flesh touched hers, the very air that surrounded them quivered.
Iha, are you alright?
Ma, I found what my heart wants.
Is it a boy, Iha?
My future. And I'd like to pursue it.
After her resolve, she said nothing more and went to fill every lamp of their old home with oil. The house soon shone a bright yet strange orange glow. The lamplight lasted through the night and into the morning. When dawn came, old woman Intan woke up to extinguish the lamps, but found no matter how much she tried and no matter how much air she blew from her lungs, the flames would not die. On another fine day, Epifania headed her way to Tiai's store for her daily chore, hoping to, once again, see Bangbangin. To her dismay, Tiai was back and the man she yearned to see was nowhere in sight. With a sunken heart, she approaches Tiai and
Good afternoon,
asks,
Tiai. Where is your son?
Oh, good afternoon, Epifania. Bangbangin isn't here. He's helping his father till the soil for the planting season. How's your Lala? Oh, did you come here for the 3 silver coin worth of oil?
Yes, Tiai. And I've also come here to tell your son that my heart beats only for him.
Oh, my. You must not say such things, my dear. You're far too young.
But, Tiai, I speak nothing but the truth.
Nonsense! Go back to sleep and maybe you will wake up from that foolishness.
I don't understand, Tiai. I only know that I love him.
Here's your opening. Now go home.
But I love him, and I will have him.
Go home before I spank you with this fan. Nothing will come of this. Not until Cuernos de Negros stops sending its courier over the land. Not until the wind ceases to chase away the Walualo. Not until the clouds disappear. Not until someone steals the moonlight from the night. The world has to stop spinning before I grant you your foolish romantic wish.
I shall come back when I've persuaded the world to stop spinning.
Go home!
Early the next morning, Epifania said goodbye to old woman Intan and set out to the nearby mountains on foot. She had prepared simply for the trip, taking only a jar of water, a small bar of the thickest bayi-bayi wrapped in banana leaves, and a sturdy branch, no, a big twig, from the mango tree that had swallowed her mother. She traveled far and wide in the vast rugged collection of mountains and seas that were blanketed by a soothing breeze of the Cuernos de Negros. She slowed her pace, then she poked gently at the soil here and there until she found a spot that was a perfect amalgam of clay and stone. There, she began digging with her twig, and as she dug, she sang. Epifania then leads her way to Tiai's house, where the old woman struggled to cool
Yes,
herself
I
with
have
her
done what
fan.
you told me I must accomplish to calm my heart. Carlos de Negros no longer breathes. And I love your
But Tiai only glowered some more. Then she got up in a huff and threw away her useless fan, which joined a heap of other fans on the ground. The next day, she woke up early and said goodbye to old woman Intan who begged. But the young girl did not reply. She set out for the nearby seas.
Dito sa amo ang akong kasing-kasing dahilan. Hinautan tatanara, mariyo ang imong lungkon, ang akong pagbati.
There was a sudden shift in the atmosphere. Certainly not wind. The sky seemed to compress itself into an indescribable denseness. And suddenly, there was rain. Everything in Old Tulong was drenched, and still the heat and humidity clung like a curse. Epifania again headed to Tiai's store to say,
Carlos de Negros no longer breathes, and the Walolo has gone. But I still love your son.
Annoyed, Tiai rolls her eyes and ignores her absurd proclamation. The rain had not stopped the next morning when Epifania woke up. Her grandmother was nowhere to be seen. She then went to the mango tree and dug into the wet soil and managed to grab a handful of the tree's roots, soft tendrils still sticking out from the pulpy mass. In a nearby nook, she found a dry spot where she could do her magic play. Epifania, in what felt like an eon, laid the roots on the dry ground shielded from the rain by some rocks and waited for the moisture in them to dry up.
Dito sa amo ang akong kasing-kasing kahilak. Hinaw tunta lang ang sa kadalayapan. Naibang ko ng akong pagbati. Inang mga pangalan na dilip na
There was soon chaos all around. The sun began to violently shine its rays on the drenched skin of Old Tulong, and the wetness that was present evaporated into the air.
Carlos de Negros no longer breathes, and the Walolo has come, and the sun has allowed itself to rage. But I still love your son.
Old Tulong was quiet when the fourth day came. The humidity had not abated. The rains had not stopped.
dito sa akong kasing-kasing lak. Hinunta mayari nga ibuto ko ang akong pagbati. Inaapula tulog para mapakon ang dagat.
The moon died, and all of Old Tulong was engulfed in total chaos. The poor town felt like all hell was broken loose. For the very last time, Tiai was waiting for her outside of her house, her store in shambles, her husband, and a daughter, ghostly shadows of their former selves. A few feet away stood her son, Bangbangin, looking tired and weary, though still strikingly beautiful despite the overwhelming disasters engulfing the world. She then exasperatingly says,
You! Take him, you little witch!
But I don't feel anything for you. I feel nothing for you. Nothing. This is quite sad. I am very sorry, Epifania.
But he had moved slowly towards where Epifania stood, and when he reached her, he found himself embracing the young girl, who went into his arms as though a refuge she could never have. He felt the girl shudder against his chest, and then she was very still, and everything within her was finally stilled. All of Old Tulong went back to normal. The sea receded and the land was whole again. Woman in his embrace, but Epifania was no longer there. All what was left was a mango in the palm
Kill
of
it,
his
boy!
hand.
Eat it and then plant the seed. Epifania would have wished it so.
And so the boy ate the flesh of the mango fruit and felt its tender sweetness snaking through every inch of him, spreading like contraband love through his body to become an aching in his nipples and a surging cocksureness in his crotch. He ate and he swallowed and he slurped the juice that now covered his hands. And after he had surrendered to the final fullness of the magical fruit, he sank to the ground and began digging with his hands in the wet soil. When he had dug deep enough, he gently laid the mango seed inside and slowly covered it with earth. Then he sat back and to his own surprise began to weep. His tears fell to the ground and watered the seed in its cocoon of earth. And Bangbangi knew deep in his heart that someday it would grow into a majestic tree.
Wow, that is such an amazing yet sorrowful tale, mister.
Hero, the world is full of stories such as this. This is but first you will encounter.
Yeah, thank you so much though. But, I think I see my jeep coming. So I better leave now. Thank you so much.
Nice to have you as our company.
I have to go, thank you. Whoa, Bongbongin, for you to remember all that?
It is the best I could do for Epifania, to share her brave and persevere of love and heartbreak.